Okay, and welcome back here to Gaming with Alcala. Today we're going to continue the Planet Capture IO help files, I guess you could call them. We're going to learn a little bit of the game mechanics, some of the basics here, just to kind of give you an idea of, well, we did the, starting up, and now we're going to kind of get into more of the how things work, I guess you could say. If you're enjoying this, please subscribe. And I appreciate any kind of comments and stuff that you want to leave. And if you hit the bell to get notifications, when I go live stream, I enjoy when people join in and I can have somebody to bounce ideas off of and stuff along that line. So feel free to leave a comment below and I will get back to you. Anyway, it's just been a little bit since I had a chance to do some of these help files. A new map had opened up, and so I was helping people on that new map get their planets and kind of take over different things. That's kind of how it is when you first start. Your alliance usually helps you out and gets you as many planets as you want if you can kind of move all together to the same map. And so we were doing that. Now the map kind of opened up so that people are coming through the wormholes. So the expansion has turned into more of a retreat, which typically happens when some of these big guys come through. It's nothing to be weird about or whatever. You get down to one planet, move to a new map, do it all over again. But anyway, let's get into a little bit of the game mechanics here. I'm just going to keep my Pola going here to earn titanium here. But one of the things that you do kind of want to keep track of here when you're doing your home planet, that is the first place you want to start upgrading. If you go and upgrade, like one of your other maps, like over here, like I have or one of your other planets here, what happens is when that base gets taken over, you lose those upgrades. So the first place you really want to start to upgrade is your home planet, because your home planet you'll always have. Even if somebody attacks it and takes stuff out, they just destroy what's on it here. But you never can lose this planet, so you'll always have your different buildings and things like that. One of the first upgrades I kind of recommend would be this one right here. Now for me, I had bought a couple of these before, but your refinery expansion, this here maxed out all these bases and stuff, so that would be one of the first ones I'd buy, because it basically maxes all these out. The next one I would probably buy is your military office. Again, it says 179 titanium. That's because I have 3 of them bought. They're not that expensive to begin with. I believe that one is actually only 19 when the first time you buy it, and I think if you buy this, it would to get your military center, that's 17. So you're comparing 17 to 19, and this gives you 5 times the amount. So it's kind of a no-brainer that this is the one you want to buy first. You start out with your 1500 economy, you buy that. I'm sorry, your 1,000 military, that takes you up to 1,500. So it actually adds 50% more military with one thing here. While this in here only adds in the extra 100. So that one's big and this one's big. Now the two of them together, I think this in here is 27 and this one here is 19. So you're talking it's a fair amount there. But those two there will greatly help, especially when you start out on a new map. Now one thing I would not do is what I did here. I got the 30, this thing here. Okay, I have the 30 guns around my planet. At first I thought, hey, this is great because now nobody's going to mess with my planet. Problem is 9 times out of 10, they're not going to mess with it anyway because they're too busy trying to take over planets that they can actually acquire. They can't acquire your home planet, so putting all them guns on it makes no difference. I would say if you have 10 on your home planet, you should be fine. The only way that this makes any kind of a difference is if people are just out looking for things to attack. The reason I wouldn't do this is because each gun actually takes up 9 of your economy. So if you put 10 guns on, that's 90 economy. With 30 guns, it's 270 economy. That's 170 economy that you can't do something else with. So I wouldn't recommend taking it right up. Your home planet actually vanishes like 15 minutes after you log off. That's with when you come over here, you go into, is it the help? No, it was not the help files. It is actually, let's see, that's under your titanium here. You go into setup, and right here's the option. Your home planet automatically logs off after 15 minutes, or you can select the one that if you're running your 3 times titanium, or sorry, if you're spending the titanium for your 3 times these here, it'll stay on while that's running and then log off 15 minutes after that. So that's kind of up to you which way you want to go, but just realize that your home planet's going to disappear. Because it disappears, you don't have to worry about it being attacked when you're not online, unless you're going to attack that 15 minutes. But like I said, most people are not that concerned about your home planet and taking that over. They're looking for planets that they can take over and keep. But the one thing you do want to think about is, okay, so you're building these ships, like I have these Pola here. All right, I built all these Pola, I log off. Well, what happens? My planet disappears, my Pola are sitting out in the middle of nowhere, any ship can come along and just destroy them. Make sure if you're going to log off and you want your ships, you put them on another planet, like I have this one over here, and you have these, the Pola, or my corns over here, that way they're safe. Speaking of which, I can make another one of them. So, this here will help protect it. The reason why, another thing you like to do here is these corn, their specialty is actually against frigates. If your planet's going to get attacked, guess what? They're going to attack with ships, obviously. So you want what I consider defense would be ships that are good at blowing up ships. Pola do not take out ships very easy, so putting them on as your defense doesn't make any kind of sense. So that's just another little tip there, I guess you could say. Let's go over here and let's get into the production items here a little bit. Some of these things are only available on your home planet, like this one here, the immediate resources. Now what that'll do is if you click that button, mine's at 18 titanium. I believe the first time you do it's at 13 titanium. Each time you use it, it goes up a little bit more. There's probably a limit to where it goes, but each time it's a little bit more expensive. But it gives you 30 million Mulvernit, 30 million metal, and 30 million Viridium, which is great for helping you out on your other planets. Obviously, you wouldn't use that for any of these ships, but on your other planet, that one's great. So, you have that one, and then the other one is okay, that's on all of them. This one here, you got, your acceleration here. You get these free accelerations daily. You get this one if you have your home planet. You get this one if you have a second planet or base. It's one thing, they go back and forth with how they explain it, because they talk about in the help files that these are planets, and it's considered your home planet and then normal planets, but yet they're called bases up at the top of your screen, where it talks about you have 10 bases, and it calls them bases. So it kind of goes back and forth between the two, but just if I call them planets or if I call them bases, this is what I'm talking about, your planets and bases. It's kind of the same thing. But yeah, you get that 1 hour for free, both of these daily. Then the one thing that you want to notice is there's no self-destruct. On other planets, you have a self-destruct button. That's to blow the planet up. Obviously, you can't blow your home planet up. But if you do want to move your home planet, you actually come over here. You go into your titanium. You go into the setup. And right here, change home map. You hit that. And Well, I have more bases, but if you're down to just your home base and you're under 2,000 points, you can go to a different map and basically start over if you want to. That's kind of what I did on this map, and then a bunch of the alliance members came here. We all worked together, and we had about a quarter of the map for a while, until everything opened up. Then obviously it tends to change some things. Um, but basically, to break this down on what I had mentioned, that these guns, each gun actually takes up 9 economy. That compared to basically these 4 buildings and your gun is what takes your economy. So this takes 9 economy per gun. Your Malvernit, every building takes 5. Your metal, every building takes 7. Your Viridium, every building takes 9. And every fuel building takes 11. So each one of these goes up by 2. 5, 7, 9, 11. And then your guns are 9. So when you're trying to figure out, like if you ended up buying this, whatever, for 25, I believe is what the original one is. When you buy that, it maxes these 4 buildings out. 16 levels for these 3, and it's 15 levels for that. So if you add all them up, 16 by 5, 16 by 7, 16 by 9, and 15 by 11, obviously that eats up a lot of your economy. That's why I said sometimes you want to go a little bit less on the guns, because that saves your economy for elsewhere. Now, if you're spending titanium, that probably doesn't matter so much. Fine, max out your guns. It's not that big of a deal. But even doing your max of 30, it's kind of useless, because, like I said, not many people are going to attack your planet. Also, each one of these buildings, as you buy them, they go up in value. Now, let me just come over here and see. Yeah, like here you can see that this here, when it goes, next time I build it, goes up to level 5, and you can kind of see the prices there. The Malvernit's 240, Metal's 49, Viridian's 48. Now you compare that to that, and it's going to level 6, and you can tell how much more expensive that is. But what ends up happening, see, I didn't even upgrade that building at all, but as they get to the point, eventually, like around level 9, they get to a point where you can't store enough of Malvernit and stuff to get them unless you come over here and hit this, the immediate resource button. That's why I usually take them all up to about 9, unless I'm going to do this, then I just max them out. The nice thing is some of these, like, you can tell, let me see here. Well, right there it says titanium 9 recovery remaining 4. What that means is I bought that on 4 other planets. They got destroyed. So now if I wanted to, I could come over here and I could put it on here. It only cost me 9 titanium instead of the 20 some that it was taking. And that number also increases until it gets back up to the maximum again. But it's just a way that you can rebuild if you wanted to. Let me think here. Was there anything else I wanted to mention with that? A lot of these different buildings have the same thing with that. Except for these 3 here, none of them will do it. If you lose a planet that has, or a base, whatever you want to call it, with these on, you lose them for good. So I recommend, if you're going to build these, build them on your home planet. It's kind of the same thing with the repair crane, and that there is very expensive to replace. Like if I come over here, I only ever built my repair crane on my other planet here. If I build it on here, the level 1 is 99 titanium. For your original planet, it was 79. So a second one gets quite a bit, it added 20 to it. Well, tier level 2 originally was 149. And tier 3 that I spent over here, to get that was another 349. So completely in total, was 80, 150, and 350. So that was almost 600 titanium to get that there. So to put it on another planet is kind of expensive, but my main planet logs out, or my home planet here logs out, so having it on another planet actually helps the alliance really well, because when you're gone they can still heal. But then again, somebody comes in and blows it up, there goes your 600 titanium. yeah, that's not an easy loss to take. Uh, but yeah, I think that's a lot of these in here are pretty self-explanatory. When you upgrade your guns, like over here, right now I have 7 red guns here. Since this is upgraded, now if I go and hit this here to upgrade it to blue guns, I will actually have 7 blue guns, and then every time I upgrade this, they will be blue. So it does not matter if you build the guns first and then upgrade them, or you upgrade them and then build the guns. Either way, you will always have all the same color. So I think I probably had like 6 guns on here, and then I upgraded to reds that became red, and then I built a gun. So it's 7 red guns. It's not like you can have a mixture. You might have 5 blue guns and 3 red guns. It doesn't happen that way. All your guns stay the same color, and they don't get more expensive if you do the guns first and then do the upgrades, or if you do the upgrades first and then the guns. It really doesn't matter which way you go. Over here, then again with your home planet, one of the things I want to point out too is these cheaper ships are only available here. Like this here, it says it's a very light bomber, good against orbital guns. Today, 50 pieces, 10 times cheaper. Now what that means is normally, like if you come over here on this planet, this ship, the Mao, or whatever you want to call it, is 390,000 by 190,000. And it takes 55 seconds to build it. Now, if you come over here, it is 39,000 and 19,000. It is 10 times cheaper here. And that's only available on your home planet. It also takes 9 seconds. Now, every time you build one of these, it takes a little bit longer. I think it goes up by like a second or two. So the next one I build would be, well, let's find out. I'll build one here. So this one takes 9 seconds. So we'll let that go through here. Let that hit the 9 seconds. And there you got your mall. It was nice and cheap. Next one's 10 seconds. So see, it takes 1 second longer for each one you do. Now that works for 50 of them. You can see it says today 49 pieces. That's how many I have left. After I build them 49, then these ships here would be just as if I was making them over here. They'll be 55 seconds a piece at 390 and 190 instead of the cheaper, faster price over here. So you can build 50 of them a day. They are very handy. If you look for how cheap they are, they have 75 armor. Compare that to the Pola here, they only have 20 armor. The Pola are only available here as well. And every one of these that you build, like right now I'm going to build one, 38 seconds, 79,000, 39,000, and then 7,000 fuel. 7,350 to be exact. And if you look, well, once that goes through, it will no longer be 7,350. It would be more than that, and it also takes an extra second longer for these every time you build them. But this is the only place you can build them. You cannot find on a second planet, you will not find Maul anywhere. About half of these ships in here you will only find on your home planet. That's important to realize, because if you're in a different corner of the map than where your home planet's at, you can only build like these Wents. I think the Len are that way. Some of these ships you can only build here, so you want to kind of pay attention. A lot of these are a little bit cheaper. They're, like the corn, obviously I built that on my other planet down here. The coal you can build other places. These here, the Zaros, you can only build them on your home planet too. Now they're a little bit more expensive for being a cheap ship, but in terms of price, these things are awesome because they do 700 damage. Now this here is 1750, but they're also 1,450,000. So that's, you're talking price-wise, that's a huge difference. And you can stack these in groups of 7, so these are awesome for like taking out guns in a hurry. I know a lot of people like to use these mechos, but for me, the time is nice. These takes 3 times longer to build, but you're talking 7 times more firepower, more armor, better range. You know, they do take a little bit more military, so I guess maybe that could be part of it. But man, I'd much rather have the Tsar than these. If I was going to build these, I'd probably build these really cheap Wents, you know, for fodder, so that these guys get attacked while these guys are doing the attacking. That's kind of what I do with these, where these guys get attacked while these guys are doing the attacking, or whatever. So there's a little bit of that stuff that you kind of got to watch into it. But yeah, I think it's actually the 5 ships. So I think it's these Went, the Meko, the Zaro, the cheaper one of these, and the cheaper one of these. I think that's all that this is. They're only available in this planet. I guess the Len, I think they're available. Yeah, there they are. So the lens are available on any planet. So the 5 that are unique are the Mao, being cheaper. These here you can only build here, and then you have the Went, the Zaro, and the Mecha. So these 3 here, and them 2. Those 5 ships are only available here, and they're very worth building them, because as far as price goes per firepower, they're all pretty good with that. The other thing, on each planet, if you can fully upgrade a planet or a base. If you see here, increase the group limit of the map by 1. Okay, so these are group limits. So if you want extra, you know, you have your groups at the top. If you're maxed out at 10, if you buy this, it'll take you up to 11, 12, or 13. You know, each one will increase it. Now, they do have a limit of a lot of this stuff that you can't upgrade any further. Like, I can't buy another one of these things here, even if I wanted to. You know, these are all maxed out. A lot of this stuff has a max that you can buy on each planet. When you max out, see, like this here says Economy Ministry, maximum level reached. Military Center, maximum level reached. Base Command, max level reached. That's how many bases you can control. These are all maxed. You can only get like 3 levels of each of them. After that, you cannot upgrade them anymore on this planet. But if you go to another planet, now here it says build up to level 1 base command, so I can actually do it on another planet. They limit what you can put on each planet, or else you would just upgrade your home planet and you'd be all powerful because of that home planet, and there's nothing they can do about it. But when you have your home base with these here maxed and with this maxed, your military will be all the way up to 4,000, and your economy would be 2,500 with them maxed. The reason that your military is higher is because you can do 3 of these, so that's why they're not both stuck at 2,500. It would be 2,500 because you start with 1,000 each, and then you can buy what is it, 10 of these and 10 of these. Let me think here. So that's because you'd have 1,000 each. This is 1,500, which would take you to 25. And yeah, okay. So basically, what it works out to being is actually you can buy 15 of these. So you start out with 1,000, you can buy 15 of these, and that's what takes you to your max of being 2,500. You start out with 1,000 military, you buy 15 of these, it takes you to 2,500. Then you can buy the 3 of these, which takes you up to a total of 4,000. So without touching any other planets, you can have your military at 4,000 and your economy at 2,500. So that gives you some room to grow. Then if you wanted higher than that, now you have to go to a second planet and start upgrading it over here. And as you can see here, it says because I had some bases destroyed, it says Titanium 1 because I have 14 recovery. So I had 14 of these on another planet that got blown up. So it's 1 titanium for each building to recover that. Same with them. I had 1 planet that must have been maxed with that, and now it's only 1 titanium to recover it. So that's one thing that's nice. So if you do buy them and you get to 15 of them, you have a planet that gets blown up, you only have to spend 1 titanium each to get it back. That is pretty much, I think, going through everything on here. Oh, one little note that I want to put with this: if you do buy titanium, go to your titanium tab and actually spend real money to buy titanium. For 2 weeks, this here will be triple. So you will get 90 million mol, 90 million metal, and 90 million veridium. So you'd actually triple that. And that kind of brings us into what should you buy when you get this stuff. I highly recommend looking at your other bases, because obviously your other bases is where things get a little crazy. Like you have these type of ships that are 49 million and 39 million. They're huge, massive ships with, I'll show you a little bit later here at the end of the video, and I'll compare ships around, but obviously these ships here are almost all better than what you can get back on your home planet, but they also cost a lot more. Like that one there, you're talking 300 minutes. Well, 300 minutes, that's what, 60 minutes in an hour, so that's 5 hours just to build one of them. So you're not getting them quick, but they are definitely awesome. So one of the things I do want to bring up, and this is one of the things that really had me confused there in the beginning, but the mechanics of this is really interesting. Every level that you upgrade, like with Mulvernet, when you start out with level 1, well, I can come over here. What's really interesting is, like, okay, so this is really cheap, 15 seconds and you get it. Okay, so the way the game works is, okay, I have level 1 and now I'm going to build level 2. Basically that counts as the same amount of buildings. So as you keep collecting these buildings, it keeps adding more storage and it keeps adding faster production of it. What it works out to be actually is each building, from what I understand, does 1,000 of that resource every minute. So now that I upgraded that to level 2, instead of doing 1,000 a minute, it's doing 2,000 a minute, which that's the base rate. As you get extra planets, it actually cuts down the base rate. There's a lot more of that detail. That's going to be more for my third video here, but I'll just kind of show this to you so you know what I'm talking about. That's in the help files, in the production thing, but like right here, when you have just your home base, let's get that on the screen a little bit better here. When you have just your home base here, it's 100% effective. When you get a second base, now it's 70%. So if you have, let's just say you have your home planet at 10 and you get another planet. So you went from 10 to basically 11 because you have one building on there. So that means you go from making 10,000 to making 11,000, but at 70%. So 70% of 11,000 would be what, 80,000. So you actually lost production by getting your second base. But again, that I will get into a lot more when we get into the third video, because that's more of the advanced mechanics, I guess you could say. But yeah, so let me kind of recenter this up here a little bit so that we can see what's going on and get back into this. Make sure chat's off, and there we go. Okay, so anyway, oops, wrong button. There we go. So now that we have that kind of figured out, let's look into some of these things with, okay, oh, I'm sorry, I completely forgot what I was talking about. So when you do that, it also affects your storage. The storage is a little interesting because you know how I said that, whoops, careful here before I buy something. You know how I said, like, when you buy these buildings here, you, like, once you hit like level 9 or 10, you can no longer, let me just see if some of these are higher up. Yeah, probably a lot of my planets I didn't build a whole lot of stuff on it. Oh, like here, there you go. See, the Mulvernet is 10 million. Well, you can't store 10 million, and that's just to get to level 11, and it goes up to level 16. So since you can't store enough material to actually build that, you're stuck at that level unless you go out and buy the extra resources, or if you know, increase this production or whatever you have to do in order to get up to there. Which, by the way, when you do these, I don't know if you noticed, but if you're maxed out in metal and you click this and it starts producing 3 times faster, it also gets rid of the cap. Just a little side note with that. So you can actually store more, so you could actually store up to this amount if you wanted to. But again, that's going to cost titanium. Your best bet is simply to buy one of these things. They're all maxed out, then you don't have to worry about it. But just to give you a note on how this whole thing works, your home planet, when you get a home planet, it is actually gives you a bonus of resources. Your home planet gives you 1 million limit to Mulvernit. It gives you 500k in metal, 250k in Viridium, and 50k in fuel. When you go to your second planet, that also gives you a bonus. It increases your Mulvernit by another 750. So just between your 2 planets, you're talking it's 1.7, well, 1.75 million Mulvernit that you can store. So it will produce up to that much. Metal, like I said, your home planet gives you 500k, but your second planet actually gives you 1 million. So that's 1.5 million that you can store. Viridium, home planet gives you 250k. Second planet gives you 500k, so you have a total of 750k that you can store. Fuel, home planet gives you 50k. Your second planet actually doesn't give you anything, so you stay at 50,000. Your fuel does not increase very much. The only thing you can really do to really increase that is to build other buildings. Well, the structure for how that works is in your help files under that would be under oh shoot, where was that information? Is this, no, maximum stations. Where is that under? I forget where that's at now. Oh, it's right here with this. Underneath this information here. And again, this here, all that information on rounding up and how it works is pretty crazy, but let's just say you have, like this example here, you have 3 bases with 11 on each. So when you have 3 bases with 11 each, you basically have 33 factories, 33 metal factories. So your storage limit is the 33 factories times 1,000, which is 33,000, and then you get the square root of that, and then you multiply that by 300. Okay, it's a little crazy, and then you add in your home planet bonus, and you add in your secondary, a second base bonus, and then so your 2 bonuses would be 1.5 million, and all your factories, all 33 factories, only gives you an additional 54,000. So every building you build gives you more storage, but it does not give you much storage. I will really get into a lot of that. That's more of the advanced stuff, so I will get to that on the advanced, which is the next one, and we'll really work through those numbers to really show you how it works. But that's for the next video. What you have here on your other planet, though, is you have other production buildings. Let me go over here to this building here. No, not that one. Where is... yeah, like here. Now here, I actually built another military station, which gave me another 500 military. So I couldn't do that on my home planet, because most you can have on one planet is 3. And you can see here, this one here is max level also, and this one here is max level. So again, now this is your next planet. So if this was all maxed out, if I had this and maxed out and these maxed out, it would be another 3,000 and 1,500 is what you can get on each planet. So since I have this maxed out, that would have been another 1,500 military. Yeah, this is maxed out, so that would have been another 1500 economy, and then I have one of this, so that'd be another 500. So total I have 2000 military and 1500 economy boost just on this planet. Now, something that I could do here is I could up my group limit another time here, but as you can see, that's 309 titanium just to have one more group. It may be worth it at some point, but that's a lot of titanium. I think I have other places to spend it before I go into that. Now you will see some other buttons that are here, some other icons that are here that are not on the other planet, your home planet, which is the self-destruct. That costs 9 titanium. What that allows you to do, if I hit that button, that planet blows up. Why would I do that? Well, like I mentioned, if you want to move to another map, you have to be down to just one planet, so you blow up your other planets, so you're down to one planet, so you can move to a new map. Personally, I don't think it should cost 9 titanium to blow a planet up, especially if you have like 10 planets and you want to move. That's, 9 planets, you gotta spend 9 titanium just to be able to move. That's 81 titanium just to go to another map. That's a little annoying, I think, but I guess it's to keep top players from destroying their planets and going someplace else. But anyway, the other one you have here is this here, which is something I don't understand a whole lot of. For 15 hours, you add up what you would have on my 6 bases, how much Malvernate I would make, and I could do that how much Malvernate it would make in 15 hours. I get that all for 90 titanium. Okay, 180 titanium for metal and 270. It's a quick way to get a whole lot of resources. Probably the only one you would that I would ever use it for is possibly fuel, but I haven't used this yet. I don't know exactly how that works, and I'm not sure how the alternating actually works. Is that 5 hours, 5 hours, 5 hours, or whatever? I don't know. I've never used this. So yeah, if you know what this is, comment in the video, let me know, and that way we can all know. Then other than that, some of the different ships here that you can make, you really do want to pay attention towards, if they're orbital guns or whatever's going on. But a lot of these ships, these here Brahms, the Altera, and I call them Zerks. But these 3 here, they are the ones I like to do when you finish your quest. You want to remember to come here and you want to check these quests out. These quests are very nice, especially 5 million and 5 million, because that's with these 5 millions and the 3 million, 2 million. When you get them, it allows you very easily to get these here ships. The way you get these quests done, just a little recap if you didn't watch the first video. Quest 1, TAC level 1. That means somebody with green guns. Level 2 is somebody with red guns. Level 3 is somebody with the blue guns. This 9%, basically I made some Pola. I sent them in. They blew up, but they did some damage to a gun before then. You do that a couple times a day, you can easily get to 5 million each and go from there. And destroy 10 enemy ships. That's pretty self-explanatory. You go find ships, you blow them up, and you get that reward. But yeah, some of these bigger ships, it's definitely worth looking into. These ships, the only way they can fire is if you use these ships to deliver these weapons. But what makes these nice, they're the only gun that can actually shoot outside of range of any blue guns. So they can sit like way out here and hit the planet, and my guns couldn't hit them, even though there's blue guns on here. So that's what makes them so expensive and so good, because they can just shoot at you all day as long as there's somebody else in there so they can see the planet. Let me see here. When I was playing around with this, I saw this button come up. Immediate maximum for your ministry and military. What that does is, if I click that, it says 48. That will give me max this building and max this building with one click. It costs the same as if you went through and individually clicked all the all of them together. See, that says I have 14 left at 1, and that has 15 left at 1. Well, this would max them out, so 14 and 15 would be 29, and then that last one would make up the difference, which, well, 29 to 48, that's 19, so that last bit would cost me 19. That's kind of how the whole number come up. But yeah, so clicking this is like upgrading both of these together. And what it's basically saying is I have to do that before, hang on, before this option of getting the 500 opens back up. Because like I said, I bought this here. Well, that's because these were maxed, and these have to be maxed before this is available, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, that kind of takes care of most of these different buttons and stuff in here. The only thing that I would say is, like, with some of these ships and how guns work, the guns will primarily focus on any ship that is what I would call a bomber. Whatever ship is made to take out guns. Like this one here says, good against spaceships, weak against guns. So this is one of the last ships that guns will go after, due to the fact that they're going to, usually what they do is they target, like this in here. These are good against orbital guns. They are one of the first ships they'll attack. Same with the Cove here. They're good against orbital guns, so your ships want to, so the guns want to attack that first. So when you send in these here, like the Maul, this is why the Maul are so nice. A lot of times you send them in, the guns start attacking them, then while they're attacking it's designated bomber, so they're attacking them, you could actually send these in and they won't get targeted right away in some cases. Sometimes that doesn't always work, so you got to play with it sometimes. Sometimes you have to send these in later. It all depends on what the guns are doing and when the ships go in. It's one of those things that you got to get them stuck on a target before you send your other stuff in. So like these here Rabo, these here are multi-purpose ships. So they do 4,000 damage. They're awesome. But these would actually get targeted then first before this would, because that's one that's good against other ships. This is a balanced one, and then these are the bombers. So these would actually get attacked before this, even though these do a heck of a lot more damage, because these are designated as bombers. These are designated as multi-purpose, or balanced ships, as I call them. One of the things that I found out the hard way, these ships, I went to build one of these, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to have enough to get what else I want, so I canceled the production. I thought you get all your resources back. You do not. You actually, now you lose a little bit, it's not much, you lose 10%. So if I went to build one of these and cancel it, I would lose 2.9 million metal and 4.9 million viridium. 10% don't sound like much, but when you're talking those numbers, 2.9 and 4.9 million is a lot to lose. I went to build one, I canceled it, and then I didn't have enough to start it up afterwards, because I was actually worried more about my military and going over my military, so I went to build some other ships first, then build that one. And yeah, it didn't work out the way I wanted to, because then I didn't have enough resources to buy it. I think I pretty much covered the kind of stuff that I wanted to cover in this video. So if you have any questions or anything about the video, please leave the comment. I will get back to you. I know some people left some comments on some of my other videos. I will reply 100% to all comments that you post. So I will answer your questions, and usually within a day or two. I'm usually pretty active with this. So again, if you enjoyed this video, if you learned anything, let me know. And please subscribe because that really helps me out. Right now, I don't have enough subs to make any kind of money off of this, and it would be nice to start monetizing some of these videos. So please help me out, subscribe. I try to release a video every couple days here. I'm not going to overwhelm you, but if you're enjoying anything that you're learning, please subscribe. Okay, have a great time, and I will see you back then for advanced mechanics.